All right, hello everyone. Welcome to another live interview with one of our Soul to Soul presenters. I'm Johnathan, a volunteer for the Heal, Live, Thrive community. And today we're interviewing Lyndon Forrester, the man behind the interviews. And I'm really excited to bring him on today and hear a little bit about his story and what he's bringing to the summit. And if you haven't registered yet, please go over to our link in our bio, register for the Soul to Soul Summit. And yes, this is going to a great cause, a cause to help support chronic healing warriors with the 4 core healing supplements and through the Patron project. So this is a really, really amazing cause. Get over there, donate if you can. If you know somebody, share this with someone else, send it to someone else. If you know of people who would be wanting to join and wanting to donate. So the more the merrier. It all helps. It's all part of the puzzle. All right, here's Lyndon. Let's get him on here. How's everybody doing? All right, Lyndon. All right, we'll wait a minute here. There he is.
Hey, Jonathan.
Hey,
How's
man.
it going?
Did you get a chance to breathe?
Just now, yes.
Oh, jeez. How's it going?
It's going great, man. I got the energy, so
Good for you. Nice. I don't
you
know where you
know,
get it from, man. It's all that passion.
it's more than that. It's more than
Yeah,
that. It's
yeah.
a gift. It's a gift
Hmm.
from above.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
It's connecting
Um,
to all the powerful information. It's connecting, just maximizing everything AW is teaching us.
mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. And speaking of, I'm really excited when you sent me over your title for this, I was like, Secrets AW is hiding in the books. I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. I'm always looking, I'm always going through the books and looking for different things, highlighting, looking for different secrets. So I'm curious to hear about this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of my things. Like I always want to be bringing something new to
Hmm.
people that they haven't, something that I haven't heard anybody else talking about. Like if I'm going to bring something to this conversation, like we all have something new to bring, something that is uniquely to ourselves, but sometimes I find things and I put them together and I'm like, oh, he didn't state this emphatically, like literally or anything like that, but it becomes more clear as he adds other information later on. And then
Hmm.
people don't often go back and then make these connections. So I'm just super excited to kind of like make some create some new knowledge for people,
Yeah, I
new
love that.
understanding.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's all part of the puzzle, right? Each piece, whether it's us or whether it's the information that has little pieces in there, that we can find, and so that's amazing. I love that.
Yep, yep. So what if we could take the information from the new book, the newest book,
Mm-hmm.
not the one that's about to come out, but the one that's the audio book,
Yeah.
spiritual tools book. What if we can take that even a step further with the information, going back into the information and taking that forward with that new information?
Is that what you're going to get into? Because
Well,
I
that's
would
one.
love.
That's part of
Yeah,
it. I'm just gonna just
that's a
dropping
great.
dropping some teasers there because
Mm,
I want people to know you'll probably I've never heard anybody else talk about some of the things that we're going to be talking about. So
I
it's
love
going to
it.
be awesome.
Cool. All right. Let's dive in. I'm excited,
Yeah,
man. So yeah, tell those that don't know about you, tell a little bit about how you found Medical Medium or how it found you, and kind of your healing journey.
sure. So it all started with a young child desperately gasping for air, crossing the gates of life several times and coming back. They just kept sending me back several times. I had life-threatening asthma when I was a child. My mom had life-threatening asthma, you know, and so it's no wonder why her parents were like super scared into like, oh, make sure we do everything the doctor says and everything. So I was born with doctors and specialists trying to treat my asthma left and right for all my childhood, and then finally when I became an adult, I had kind of had this subconscious reflection thinking back, like, how come I'm not getting better? How come my
Mm,
asthma never improved with all these drugs, all the medicines, all the treatments, all these shots? They gave me so many shots, like saying I had allergies, and they just gave me like a shot every week for a while at some point.
mm.
And shots that I didn't need of all kinds, and it was just not helping me get better at all. And so I kind of realized that, and I started to kind of learn and become passionate about food. Like as soon as I was an adult, I just started studying every label of every food and researching all the things on the internet, all the ingredients. Um, and then fast forward to a few years later in college, um, I lost my mind. I lost reality. And it was like one of the best things that happened to me in a way. It was kind of crazy. It was scary. It was so scary. Some people
Like
would
a
call it like
psychosis?
some people would call it
Okay.
like a psychosis or a schizophrenic episode. It lasted for months, and
Mm,
basically, the only thing that made sense to me was when my brother had said, "Hey, maybe you've been poisoned or drugged," but somehow in that uh, some beautiful seeds were planted because not only
mm,
did I realize like I have no idea what's real anymore. I had that thought. I have no idea what reality is. Like I was aware that I didn't know what reality was.
mhm,
Um, and that's a beautiful place to start because now you can actually begin to learn something in this life. If you start thinking you know anything that's real, you can never learn anything. So to me, looking back, I'm like it was all taken. It was like everything was taken away from me, but in that I was reborn. And I was also simultaneously having this sort of existential crisis where I saw a homeless, well, who I thought was a homeless man, and I'd given away all my possessions just before this,
mm,
right? So, and because I was having this crisis, like material things just don't matter. The world is so oriented on and valuing on all these material things, and I'm just like sipping this espresso that I don't need for no reason. Um, and I had it like given away all my money except for there's like a little stash of a few bucks left at my house. And this homeless guy that I thought was homeless was asking me for money for a sandwich. And I'm just like letting this hot espresso just fall out of my mouth because I'm like realizing in this stupor, like, wow. And I've just given away all my things. And like this guy's hungry. And here I am still drinking an espresso. So I was like, you know what? Just hold on a second there. I think I have a couple bucks stashed somewhere still. It was like the all that I had left. I gave away my car and my bike and all my money, and so I just like walked away from it, right? But I had like a treasure chest, and I went back and ran back home from this Starbucks, and I grabbed this treasure chest, and I took out like the money, and then I ran back, and he was still there, and I was like, okay, let's buy you a sandwich. And the funny thing is, like, he was like very picky about what he wanted to eat. When I took him
mm.
inside to get some food, he was like, "No, I don't know if I want that. I don't want." He was taking forever to decide, and I was like, "Man, just I'm trying to buy you something to eat here, so just take it and let's get out of here." But anyway, moving forward
Uh,
after that crisis, I was left with like social anxiety, and I was left with just this kind of hole in myself and this disconnection. Wasn't able to connect to people, um, and it was crazy. It was just I lost all these friends and a huge part of myself. And then not long after that, like my hair started falling out
mm,
all over my body, like my eyebrows, everything from my head to my toes. It was like just so patchy. And then I knew something was wrong. I was like, okay, I really got to take responsibility for my health and do things. So I keep getting into the diets more, going to different, practitioners. And, sooner or later, I have a perfect storm. I lose my girlfriend. I totaled my Camaro. And I I had surgery on my nose, and so and the antibiotics that come with that, and like so all these things were kind of colliding in once, and then my skin just started to get really bad. It was kind of a slow progression. It was getting worse before that a little bit, but then like when all that stuff happened, it just and I also was exposed to pesticides. um, by my own stupidity, admittedly. By the way, because I was terrified of bugs. And so anyway, yeah, all this stuff in one, and then so now my skin's just going crazy, and it's making me freak out. And I'm just going to try everything, herbs. I'm like going to the health food store, like looking at all the supplements, like trying everything I can, going to different practitioners, studying on the internet for years, and doing the alternative medicine shuffle boogie, going to the health conferences, just trying to learn with all my heart and soul.
Mm.
Because it was just hard. I couldn't handle that. I was like, I can't live like this. And it got to the point where I was just like, I was trying to look for myself spiritually, and I thought, if there's God up there, there's no way that he wants me to live like this. So I'm like praying to God, and I'm saying, if you help me heal, like I will devote myself to helping others to get out of this suffering that I'm in. I will do that 100%. And I just made that deal with God. And so that was about 2016. By that point, I was so struggling so much with not just my skin, but other health issues like my hair and energy, insomnia, fatigue, back pain, that I was barely able to work. Fortunately, I
Mm.
was a guitar teacher. I was like able to do freelance work and do it on my own schedule, but it was like hard. So it took me everything just to like take a couple clients here and there. Took me a lot just to muster up the willpower just to do that much. And so yeah, so I was living out of my 2016 Hyundai, and just praying on my hands and knees. You squeeze any man hard enough, and they're gonna cry to their maker.
Right.
So about a year later, 2017, I heard a podcast from Anthony William about the truth behind skin conditions, eczema and psoriasis, from the radio show, his radio show, not a podcast. Sorry, he has the podcast and then the radio show. This was the podcast or the radio show. And when I heard it, I was on this stupid, high protein, uh, sort of like cooked vegetable paleo thing. Couldn't have anything raw. Now, for several years at that point, people had been like, "Wow, you eat so healthy." Every doctor I went to, "Oh man, you eat so healthy." Every practitioner, Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, I was doing the yoga. Like everybody was like, "Wow, you
Mm.
eat so healthy," and I did. I was eating clean in a lot of ways. I was very disciplined. I wouldn't touch a packaged food. I wouldn't touch anything eating out at restaurants. So. With all that, for several years, like all the organic food, like that's just not enough. When somebody's really sick, that just doesn't move the needle. You can eat
Mm.
as clean as you want. You can eat, but if you've got the eggs and the dairy in there, and you've got the wrong foods in there, it's just not going to happen.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And if your lifestyle sucks too, or not, it's not the lifestyle. My lifestyle didn't suck, but my life, my life circumstances sucked, because here I was struggling financially. I couldn't make friends. I was just feeling disconnected, depressed. All the things, lonely. That
Mm.
that was just a miserable way to exist. And I was just like, I don't want to do this. If this is how life is going to be, I would rather just check out of life. And um, I didn't like make any plans for suicide, but I was just thinking that's the road that this is headed toward if I don't go in a different direction and find something. So as soon as I
Mm-hmm.
found that information, it was different to me. Like right off the bat, I was just like, okay, tomorrow we're gonna start it. We're gonna start everything, and I just went 100%. And that was a dramatic shift. I probably would take it a little bit slower going if I would have gone back, but It's all part of the learning process that, you know, hopefully maybe can help others too. So
Hmm.
yeah, I just jumped in. I was eating like all cooked foods until now. I was eating almost all raw food, and I just noticed the energy. Things were changing. That emotion, those anxiety, the depression started to fade, and I had some hope. That was the first sign of like hope, but it was not an easy fix for me. I was still living in my car. I was still
Mm.
friendless, and I was still struggling in so many different ways. But I started to feel this energy, and that was enough for me to keep going and continue. And I just had so much faith because here's this weird guy talking about like I get my information from spirit, and I never investigate it. I just keep listening because I want the information about illness, right? So I'm like I keep listening to all these radio shows and like start buying the books, but like at first I'm just like not even I don't even think about the whole spiritual aspect of it. I just kind of put that aside. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of spiritual, but like this other doctor I'd been with, he was also kind of like a spiritual guru. He was trying to be an Anthony William of his own kind. So I was just like, okay, I don't know if I need to deal with elves again, like that other doctor. You speaking to elves as an ambassador for Earth, I guess.
That's a new
Just
one. I haven't heard that one. That's a
yeah,
new one.
yeah. So that's Dr. Wilson. Anyway, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna shelf that stuff for now. I'm gonna table that, and I'm gonna focus on the foods. I'm gonna focus on the supplements. Focus on whatever I can do. And before you know it, I was eating. I was just eating as well as I could, but in that bad situation, I just climbed out little by little. Um, you know, started. I got a job where I could live somewhere and work, have a kitchen, have a shower where I worked, and that was kind of how I was like, that's how I need to get out of this. I need to find a place where I can get some stability
Mm.
and a place to rest because I'm like not able to sleep well in a car. It's just killing my back and my shoulders, and it was like extremely just uncomfortable in different temperatures. So yeah, so that just kind of took me little by little along the path to leave California, come to Montana, restart my life, and then get to a place where now I can build friends. Now I can have relationships. Now I have community. Now I have a confidence in my health and my energy. And there was a lot of, trust me, there was lots of ups and downs in that, but I used with all my heart and soul, I applied the tools. Like in every way, shape, and form that I could. I studied it in detail and I listened to it over and over every day until until today. And I still do the same thing. I do the same thing, but I'm just
Mm-hmm.
enjoying life more than ever. My peace has returned. My, everything is so much better. Like over um, close to 60 symptoms uh, vanished, except for, the most minor of you know, skin condition, a little bit of sensitivity to chemicals, but everything is so good.
That's amazing. Wow, man, that's a lot. You've been through it. You've been through
Yeah.
it, and you're coming out the other end with compassion, and giving that gift to others, just in this talk alone. And, when I was hearing you talk, and I relate a lot to your story. And you and I actually met when I was kind of living out of my car. And so, it takes a lot of strength to get through all that because there is fear. There's fear, there's adrenaline, there's, a survival mode, right? And but I love your story because it's just a beautiful example of the soul healing journey, right? And some people call it the hero's journey. You go through trials and tribulations and you realize things that once were, you know, um, you thought, like you said, were real, but that they weren't real. And you just gave up everything. And you gave up your stuff, you gave up your money, you were giving money to other people you didn't know, and but you just knew, it sounds like you knew in your heart that you were on this soul healing path. So yeah, man, I give you a lot of credit. That's amazing to hear that whole story. And so you mentioned a little bit physically, like how things have changed for you and how much you've healed. Speaking of the spiritual hero's journey, spiritually, how have you grown spiritually, and how has that evolved for you over this time period?
How have I grown spiritually and how have I evolved over that time period? Well, at that time, I was just like kind of, generally accepting of the concept of God,
Mm.
Um, and I thought, as far as the rest of religion, who knows? I can't tell. I can't make sense of this stuff. Um, but what I do know is that there's meaning and there's value in it. And so, um, I was able to entertain it and see that the value is also like community, right? Spiritual community is also very powerful. And there's research behind having spirituality in its positive impact on our health, our well-being, for a number of reasons. So um, it was, it was only a matter of time before I started hearing about the angels, following AW, because I was reading everything. I was trying to leave no stone unturned with him and just find all the information. I'm like, I I get obsessed. When I get obsessed about something, and I was obsessed about healing and knowing everything about the system he's teaching. So when I get obsessed, I find everything. I do the deep dives, and that's one thing that I'm good about is the obsession. So yeah, so as soon as I found those angels, I was like, okay, well I'm feeling it. If I really want to try this 100%, I'm gonna start praying to the angels, and um, little by little, my faith in spirituality, it just kept building. I had some sense of faith in me, right? Because I was like, I knew God didn't want me to be like this, and then all of a sudden something shows up that feels powerful, even if mildly at first. But I started seeing the works of those angels, and it's difficult for me to talk about like on social media like this too. So um, I'm like, I don't know how to frame that for somebody that doesn't have any sort of spiritual context in their life or hasn't seen anything mystical or beyond explanation. But um, it's not just been one thing, but it's been constant. Like it's actually been a realization that there's always been support for me since I was young, because I've had so many not near death experiences. I've had like a few near death experiences, but I've had um, something close to like death many times in my life. Like where it's more of like a near miss, a near death miss. You don't have the experience of dying, but you see something happening, like a car crash where you slowed down just in time, or you know. Like there was a truck that came down the mountain and fell onto the lower road just in front of, like, in my lane, and that the way that that unfolded and the way that I missed it is just so crazy. And I just like, I see that there's always been something looking out for me,
Mm.
and it gave me some context by just trying it out. I have an open mind. So, okay, talk to some angels. I'm not superstitious. I'll try it out. I don't, to me, superstitious is basically fear-based thinking, you know? So I'm not afraid to try talking to some spiritual beings or whatever. I kind of already had been listening and learning a lot of different spiritual information. So I've been building building it enough, and like Rudolf Steiner, I was studying Rudolf Steiner for a long time. So I don't know. I'm giving a really long-winded thing because it's complicated for me, and I and I don't want to like poison it for people that are not, maybe not there spiritually or whatever. But
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, for
look,
sure.
it's just I've just seen them, the forces, the prayer. I've seen the faith carry me forward through so much,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been a huge help for my relationships. It's been a huge help for um, getting on top of life, getting back into a place of empowerment in so many
Mm,
ways.
yeah, I love that. Yeah, I mean, it's such an example of so much faith. I mean, throughout your story of just putting one foot in front of the other and just doing the next thing you know to do, and just going through so much, and the awareness. I love the awareness of those happenings around you, and just being aware of that support, that supernatural support around you, and that evolving over time. It's such a powerful share. And I know you're tight on time here, so I want to be mindful of that. But um, can you give a little bit? I'm curious. I'm really chomping at the bit here about your presentation, and can you give a little bit of a window into what you'll be talking about?
I mean, yeah, yeah. So, um, I mean, we've had our sessions in the past, so like you might have a little bit of familiarity, but I've learned a lot even since then, um, since we had our sessions. But basically, I'm talking about the energetic body, right?
Mm,
That's kind of how I frame it. Now, I don't want to confuse people because if you read like Rudolf Steiner, or if you follow other spiritual gurus or spiritual people, like there's so many different ways you could talk about energy, or some characters, some ways to characterize the energetic body. But what I want to characterize it as like the sum. It's, I have my own thing, I guess. Just it's my own understanding of it. It's just coming from all the information from AW, and kind of wrapping it into the concepts, and also taking from previous understandings and studies that have fueled into that. They all fuel it together, so that it's things that only make sense together. Um, so yeah, the energetic body, because there's so many things that were involved in taking me from point A to point B. It wasn't just about physical healing. If I was all about the physical healing, I would have been pretty disappointed in in the progress in a lot of ways, because it took me 5 years before I was like, yeah, I can breathe. I can breathe again. Like from all these symptoms and all the things that I went through, like the insomnia, the horrible insomnia, the terrible fatigue, and the worst skin conditions, eczema, psoriasis, shingles.
mm,
Um, and so like um, it was going beyond that, just physical healing, and really like focusing on the major parts of life that really create the environment for healing. So the energetic body to me is like the part of that extends into our relationships.
mm,
It extends into the future and the past, and it extends into our soul, and it's what touches all aspects of our being, I think. And
mm,
it's the most powerful way to kind of like approach healing to me. It's like looking at this energetic body as something that you can work with, and if you keep working to increase the energy of the energetic body, um, and the connectivity, then you're going to create an environment for facilitating whatever healing. Doesn't matter the symptom or the condition. You're setting yourself up for the most highest level of success in life, right? So accomplishing at your job, your purpose, and getting those relationships to be harmonized, right? So communication,
mm.
it's all energy. Everything is
Yeah.
made of energy. We know that. It's not like woo woo. It's not anti science, even. I mean, everything has energy to it. And if we can look at it that way, if we can start to think about it in terms of rhythm, frequency, harmony, um, and then begin to work with it at a higher level, then we can, instead of trying to tune each note of the song, you know, which is like playing around with symptoms and conditions with this food and this supplement. That's like, to me, that's just playing around with each note of the song, but instead looking at the instruments,
Mm,
you know, looking at the whole embodiment of the song. So instead, if you transform your relationships, everything becomes easier. in your life, right? The supplements become easier. The the air quality can become better, right? Like that's having good relationships. If you're focused on the air quality, but there's people in between you and that air quality, then the real trouble is the relationships. Like dealing with the fact that somebody uses fragrances is a low level. Like, that's where, let's say, darkness wants the battle at. That's where they want us to fight and waste all our energy. But if we maximize our energy by working at the relationships, now we're talking multiplication. We're talking the long game. We're winning the long game. We're not just fighting for survival anymore. And so that's
Mm,
what I want people to start thinking. Even if you're fighting for survival now, you're living in a car, or you just can barely get out of bed, like I did for so long, like still there's that higher level of battle. That's the whole energetic body. So working on, like, what is the thing that really needs to shift, that major shift that you need in your life, that brings everything else into alignment along with it. It pulls you where you want to go.
mm, mm.
So to
Wow.
me, that's life success. That's living the dream. That's like, connect back to your dreams. You're a powerful person, and your voice, right? That's a powerful thing. So
Mm,
bringing intention into the way you use your voice, acknowledging your power that has been stolen and robbed from you, bringing that power back into your voice, that creates shifts. That creates energetic shifts, because this is a to me, this is our most powerful weapon that we have.
mm, mm. I love that.
Our most
That
powerful instrument, maybe
mhm.
better than a weapon, an instrument.
Mm, I love that. I'm visualizing the medical medium healing path tree, and then the like you're talking about branching off those, right? The branches, you're talking about relationships, purpose, community and support, love, and just like building branches off of that, right? And getting a little more minute and detailed in there. Is that accurate?
Yeah, a lot of the
Yeah.
work, yeah, the work that I've done for myself has all been like, I keep going back to that healing path.
Mm,
And so a lot of it, yeah, it revolves around that, for
mm,
sure.
hmm. I love that. It's so
Yeah.
powerful. It's so powerful. I look at that image of that tree every day.
Yeah. So
And yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say it's very not only powerful for our conscious mind, but subconsciously just seeing that, is powerful.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that this is not just something that works on a physical level, right? If you think that plants, we can look at them with different intentions, right? If we can look at it as a plant as like, oh, okay, it's supposed to help me with my sciatica, or it's supposed to help me with my migraines, or whatever. um, we can look at it at that low level. We can also see the plant on an energetic level, like the emotional support that it can bring you, right? And we know that emotions are very high level for energy. So if we can begin to get at our emotions, regulating our emotions with food instead of just regulating our symptoms, that adrenaline can become, we can begin to master our adrenal activity and master our healing. That's that's central to that. Mastering our healing, we have to master our adrenals. Until we get that, it's going to be difficult to see those powerful shifts that we need to see.
Mm, mm, I
And
love
so
that.
plants can do that. They don't just work on the physical, right? So even if we're thinking, oh, I'm under spiritual attack, I'm there's derms in my life, there's derms in my world, in my relationships, we're going to be talking about secrets that we can access with intention to help us even with those kinds of things. That's the energetic body. It extends into all directions, including, the things like derms.
Mm, hmm. Oh, I love that. Jazz blowing up, Lyndon. People are really loving this, man. I'm excited too. And I know you're tight on time here, so
No worries. Actually, I did have I did have a little shift forward for my next thing. But go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, so are you good?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay,
Not too rushed.
okay, cool. So yeah, what is your? Let's get into your downloadable gift. What's your downloadable gift?
Yeah. So there's this great meditation that AW does, but if you go online, there's a recording and it's got like ads that are going to interrupt you, and it's not technically the full length even. It's called the Loosening Liver Fat Cells Morning Meditation. But what I really love about it is how it kind of talks about how the liver, without him saying this exactly, I'm going to use my own words, but it's basically the energy center where our entire life is tied back to, whether it's our relationships, whether it's whatever's going on in our life, our environment, the things around us, they're all tied to this energetic center, our liver. So by focusing on that, um, he says everything that you want to happen can happen. Like when we take time, I was over here. This is the liver's over here. Sorry.
It's flipped too, so it's awkward. It's like, oh,
Yeah, I'm
that's
looking
good.
at I'm looking at the mirror. So the liver, but it actually goes across both sides. It does extend
Yeah.
all to this side as well.
So
But
same with the soul, by the way.
really, yeah. So in what way?
You mentioned in the spiritual book that the soul is on the right side mostly, but it's also on the left side.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Hmm.
didn't quite, I remember the section you're talking about, but I don't remember refining it quite to that understanding. But that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Cool, man. I
Um,
love that.
so yeah, so I'm doing a recording of that meditation so that you can have like a nice, uninterrupted, peaceful, narrated experience of it that you wouldn't have otherwise. So
That's beautiful.
yeah.
I love that. That actually, I listened to that. There's somebody in the MM community who has the Anthony did a recording of it in 2019 for Hay House,
Hmm.
and I listen to that every morning. And I can't. I mean, you can ask Emily. Like, I can't go the last 4 weeks without listening to that. Like when I do that meditation, I can sense like thoughts and emotions moving through my body, through my lymphatic system and my brain, and I just kind of witness them as they're leaving. Because initially, it's like it's hard because when you're moving energy, when you're moving those emotions and the lymphatic fluid, it's full of information, right? It's full of mineral salts, it's full of toxicity, old adrenaline, and so I can feel it, and I can, if I just like observe it and let it just flow, let it just go, and just keep doing the meditation, keep doing the leg pumps, I can feel it leave. And so it's like taking a step back, like, and seeing it compassionately and not identifying with it. It's such a powerful meditation in so many ways. And just the words in the meditation is powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it provides you those cues. I use that same Hay House meditation, and it
Mm.
gives you these cues,
Mm-hmm.
for pulling the legs up and measuring the 30-second intervals.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna basically record it with that so that you'll have those cues, but no more interruptions.
Nice. Cool, man. That's awesome. Good for you. I
Yeah,
love the liver rescue meditations. I love all of them. So that's cool. All right,
definitely.
cool. So anything else? Anything else you want to add? What's on your mind?
Um, I think that just about covers it for me. I mean, there's always a million more things that we could say, but let's
Mm-hmm.
save some because I'm excited for some of the things I'm going to be sharing here at the summit.
I love it. That's amazing. And
Oh, and
so,
yeah, so I just want to let people know, like, hey, if you're wanting to connect to me, don't hesitate. I'm all about community, building this community. It's been a passion of mine that I've been growing in the last year, especially since my pleasure, Adina. Yeah, since the last year, especially, I've been really just diving in and finding so many amazing friends and people. So I just love to
mm,
connect to everybody. I'm building different, I'm always working on some kind of project. There was the Rise to Thrive project. Before that, the Restore Retreat in February. And I'm not stopping. There's more projects coming up. So I want to connect, especially if you are a builder. You're trying to build something for this community and you're trying to make things happen for people. Then let's talk. But also, if you just need support, I'm here for you.
I love that. And so, actually, how can people find you?
Yeah, so at Pure Success Nutrition is my IG. I'm
Mhm.
also on Facebook with that same account, as well as my own personal account, Lyndon Forrester. You can find me at puresuccessnutrition.com. Puresuccessnutrition.com. No spaces, no nothing, just pure success.
Love it.
So yeah, so look me up there. If you need to book a call, you can DM me or reach me at my website, and I'm happy to give anybody a sort of free introduction. Just see if I can help them out in any way, even if they're not ready for a coaching program.
Mm, mm. Awesome. Cool. Thank you, man, for doing that. And yeah, let's end with some words of wisdom, words of inspiration for the healing community on their healing journey.
So some words of wisdom is um, you can only become your greatest ally once you become your own worst enemy.
Mm, mm. Yeah, we could totally unpack that one for an hour.
Yeah, and I know there's definitely external enemies too, right? But you don't
Yeah.
have control. You don't have control of that. So what
Mm,
you have control of is this right here. So you
yeah.
still, even though you know that there's things out there that are coming at you, people, whatever, toxins, pathogens, you still gotta own up and look at yourself and try to heal that stuff that's going on inside.
Mm,
So become
hmm.
your own worst enemy so you can become your greatest ally.
I love that.
Nobody's coming to save you. I mean, AW did. I know that's kind of like he came to save us, but at the same time, like,
He's not making the foods. He's not,
he's not
doing the
making the
work.
celery juice for
Hmm.
us.
Hmm.
He's not making the
Yeah.
HMDS, but he
Yeah.
does. He does amazing. We can't ask a shred more for him because he's always
Absolutely.
there for us. And
Hmm.
there's never been something that I've looked to heal in any aspect of my life and been disappointed with what I find from him. That's the amazing thing when I see people going to other, like, oh, I got to go try this cuz I'm tired of AW's, it's not enough. No, it's enough. If you
Mm.
keep digging, if you're a real student, you keep applying yourself and digging deeper, you will always find so much more. So
Yes.
I mean, if you want to go other places, that's up to you. But I'm just saying, I didn't need to. I just devoted 100%, not 99.9%, but everything that I did, everything successful that I have has come from AW in the last, since 2017, since I found him. I
Mm.
didn't go to any other resources or healing. I abandoned it all. I'm like, why? It's a waste of my time. This is amplified.
Mm. Hmm. Yes. Amen, brother. I love that. And yeah, um, when you're talking, I'm thinking of like the tree analogy again, like the roots digging deeper and deeper. The more we get in the books, the more we dive into the meditations and eat the foods and get to know the foods. It's like the roots, they dive deeper, deeper and deeper into the earth, right? And ground us. And our soul, heals and grows and expands as well. And man, I love this conversation, dude. I love what you're doing. I love what you're talking about. I love all the passion and you talked about the obsession. I'm like over here raising my hand. I'm like, hey, same here.
Let's
Just
go.
constantly reading the books, it's just it's deeper. It's deeper than physical healing, like you were talking about. It's there's so much more here. And that's what I love about this Heal Live Thrive summit, Soul to Soul Summit. It's it's physical, it's emotional, it's mental, it's spiritual. It's multi-dimensional healing, and we're multi-dimensional beings, and we're all just trying to come together and bring each of us our puzzle piece. Right, we were talking about that earlier. We're each a puzzle piece that we're going to bring to this puzzle, and the puzzle needs all the pieces. And so everybody in this presentation, in this chat, in the community all over the world, like each person has their puzzle piece. All right, and so it's an honor to be a part of this. And you know for you, I mean, I really appreciate what you're doing, and just doing all these interviews. Like you're doing a majority of them. I'm doing some, but you're doing a ton of work. So thank you for this, and and just your passion and bringing forward what you are. So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Hey, it's my pleasure. It's my
Mm-hmm.
honor. So glad to be on this journey with you, man.
Hell yeah,
Thanks
definitely.
for thanks for
There's
all
more
your
to
hard
come.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, there's more to come. This is only the beginning. So, all right, man. You got a lot of love in the chat, by the way, too. Um,
Thank you everybody for showing up,
yeah,
and thank you for
everybody's
sending all
just
that love.
go Lyndon. Speaking my language here. Emily says, amazing. Thank you, Lyndon. Josh, what's up, Josh? I hope we can
Yeah.
find ways to get produce cheaper. Maybe we can all make a co-op. Yeah, that's definitely in the future, for sure. For sure. Love it. All right, man. Cool, brother. This has been awesome. It's been good to interview the man behind the mic.
Hey, thanks again, Jonathan. We'll talk to you
Yeah.
soon, all right?
All
Love
right,
love
brother.
y'all. Blessings.
Love you, man. All right. All right, everybody. Register for the Soul to Soul Summit if you haven't already. And share, share with anybody you know. Let them know about this summit. We need as many people, as many donations to help a good cause, to help the Core 4 supplement campaign and the Patron project to help the 10 healing warriors to get the needs, the emergency funds, the foods, the supplements that they need. So spread the word, love, do it all. And we appreciate you guys being here. Happy healing, everybody, and we will see you on the next interview. All right. See you guys.
Peace.